What the fuck is that? Whatever we want to talk about, we're going to talk about it. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of E4 Explicit Podcast. I'm Corey, and today we have Kail Lowry.
Lowry.
Yeah. Like Mike Lowry.
Yes, everyone makes that joke.
Really?
Every single person. Yeah.
That's so funny.
I'm like, okay, well, I've heard that before.
Yeah, no, so I'm not original.
It's fine.
Thank you so much for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
Having me come through.
Yeah. I mean, either way, I would have came to you also.
Yeah, that's a hike.
Sure. It's fine.
It's like hour 45. All right, so real quick. I want to tell you, like, this is kind of not weird, but it's kind of like, I feel like I was meant to like have a conversation with you.
Okay. Well, we had a conversation.
We did.
When you came to CrossFit.
Yes.
And we did, was that for CrossFit Dover or was for CrossFit?
It's for CrossFit Dover. So
okay.
I'll get to that. So what happened was, so in 2012 or 13.
Okay.
This is so fucking weird.
It's like 6 years ago?
Yeah, it's a minute ago.
Okay.
I was filming a documentary and I happened to be at BWI. And I was running around with my camera. Okay. And I was waiting for my subjects to fly in.
Okay.
And you literally came up to me and you were like, yeah, it's just so weird. You came up to me and you were like, hey, what are you filming? Because you were in film school at that time, or was it after that? You were interested or something with film.
Okay.
Either between 2012 and 2014.
I started going to school for film in 2014.
Okay, cool. So you must have had some sort of interest or something because you came up to me and you were like, what are you filming? And I'm like, I thought you were just like, not that you're not normal, but you know what I mean? I just like, oh, hey, I'm shooting this and this. And we started talking for like 15 or 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, dude. And then like after that, I like saw you on TV and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I just talked to her.
I don't remember.
I know.
Was I with anyone?
Unforgettable. I don't remember actually if you were with anyone.
I remember going to Baltimore Airport one time in my whole life.
Probably when you went. And because I remembered what you look like, obviously.
Yeah.
And I saw you like recently after that, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I just talked to her. So then fast forward till 2019, and I'm filming at CrossFit. But on the way up, me and my boy Brandon were driving, and I told him that story like years ago, and he's like, dude. Because I watched the show, I'm not gonna lie. I watched Teen Mom, and he does too. So
awesome.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because it's on MTV, and so like everyone watches MTV, and it just comes on.
Exactly,
I get it.
And so I've kind of followed your storyline. So I'm like, we're driving up to Dover, and he's like, bro, wouldn't that be funny as shit if like you ran into Kail and like you interviewed her and we filmed her, and I'm like, that would be hilarious.
That would be really funny,
dude.
And then we did,
motherfucker. We left to go eat lunch, came back from lunch. And I'm like filming B-roll, and then you walk in front of my camera, and I freaked out. I'm like, Brandon,
y'all spoke it into existence.
No, that's
you
what I told him.
manifested that.
That's what I told him.
You had to.
You spoke it into it.
Yeah.
And then like I was like, okay, well she's getting filmed like 24/7. She's gonna totally be like.
They put me on the spot. They were like, here, Kail, you do it, and I was like, okay.
I know, yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Whatever.
Is like I was like, we're not gonna ask her to do an interview because like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So. I asked you, and you were fucking totally cool.
Like, first of all, I was embarrassed because I'm like...
You just worked out.
Well, and I was like, I just had a baby, so I'm like, I'm not just recently, but so I'm like not in the best shape, and then you guys are filming, and I was like... Nobody needs to see that.
I know. And then I sent you the screenshot, and you were like, why would you send me this? Yeah. No, but it was just so fucking weird.
Y'all spoke it into existence.
No bullshit. So,
honestly.
And now I'm at your house filming a podcast.
For sure.
So,
awesome.
Isn't that
Glad
weird,
I could
though?
help. Yeah. Awesome.
No. So cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit, like most people are going to know you from Teen Mom, obviously.
Unfortunately.
But I've been more interested in what you've used Teen Mom to do in your career. So tell me a little bit about.
I get a lot of backlash about the show and like what I do. First of all, there's a bunch of dogs in the room. I have 2 dogs, so if you hear the noises, right here, so. It's not me. I took the platform that I got from Teen Mom and was able to kind of launch myself in other directions, like books and podcast myself and just other things for other streams of income, because I didn't want it to be like, okay, well, you're getting paid to be on Teen Mom, and then when the show stops, you have no other, because I think it would be really hard for me to go work a 9-to-5 at this point, because people know who I am, employers know who I am, and they could Google me, and maybe the greatest stuff isn't going to come up. So I wrote my first book in 2014, and then from there I wrote 3 more. I also started a podcast in 2017. And I've done other reality shows. Obviously, some were not a good idea, but you kind of live and learn. Yeah. So like I kind of know what not to do now. Yeah. But it's been cool. It's been great to like kind of just explore other avenues. I got my degree in 2017, which is another huge, like I'm thankful for the show in some ways because it has made other opportunities, you know, available to me, I guess is the word. But yeah, so books, podcasts, other shows, hopefully getting my own show. We're working on it.
That's
so
awesome.
Maybe
For the podcast, right?
Yeah.
That'd be
so
cool.
Even if it's like a web series, like I'm cool with that because I kind of just like want to rebrand and kind of like redirect, like,
I got you.
because I feel like now it's like Kail's always like, they will come up to me and be like, are you Teen Mom? And it's like, no, I'm Kail. My name's Kail. And I know I was on Teen. It's like I'm pigeonholed. And what's that? Typecasted.
Yeah, typecast. Yep.
It's like I can't do anything else.
Yep. You're like the Italian mobster.
I'm like,
that like
fuck.
you can't do.
I mean,
anything.
I wish I was an Italian mobster.
I know. No, but I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So like, can you take me back real quick?
Yeah.
Like we'll talk about the show for like a hot second.
Yeah.
Because
You're
honestly,
fine.
like, I already know your story, so I don't really need to hear it.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Like, you know, well, maybe I need to hear the real version. But like, my audience is definitely. Some of them might watch the show, but more interested in like real life things and like, you know, things that they could learn from and they could take away from. Sure. So like, can you take me back? How the fuck did you get on the show?
Okay, so I saw the first season of 16 and Pregnant was airing when I was already pregnant. Okay. So I was like, oh wow, like I can relate to this on some level because I'm, you know, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months pregnant. Sure. And I noticed that every single story, there were 6 girls, and every single one of them had their family. They had parents to support them. They had some amount of money. And I was like, oh, wow, like, I don't have that. Yeah. I have, like, my mom's an addict, never met my dad, like, very strange. So I was like, let me just go on MTV.com and see. Sorry, yes, Mom. Bless you. Let me see, like, what the show is about. And it said casting. So I was like, oh. So I wrote them. I was like, I didn't know what my chances were going to be. And it's not like people were like, oh, well, you got pregnant to be on the show. And it's like, you don't just get pregnant and get on the show. That's not the way it works. Sure. So I was like, I'm already pregnant. What do I have to lose? So I kind of wrote like a 2-sentence thing, like explaining my situation. And then I forgot about it. Like I was like, didn't hear from them for days. So I just forgot about it. And then like maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, I got a call from someone from New York. And then I thought it was all a lie. Like I was like, this is a joke.
Interesting.
And she was like, I need this. I need it's like an interview questionnaire. I need a video of you, a video of the dad. Is the dad going to be okay with film? Like it was like a bunch of shit. And I was like, oh, I'm not doing all this. Like I'm just not. And then something in me was like, just do it. Like, what are they going to say? No. Like, they're going to just not have me on the show. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, so whatever. We did it, and then we got picked randomly, I guess. And I was on 16 and Pregnant. It was the season finale of season 2. And then I would say probably a month or 2 maybe after that, I got a call for Teen Mom 2.
Oh, shit. That's right. 16 and Pregnant was first.
It was like a 1 episode, like maybe 40 minutes.
You're right.
And so I did that, and then when they called me to do Teen Mom, I was like, fuck yeah. Like I got a paycheck for $5,000, and I was
from
like.
Teen Mom? Or from 16 and Pregnant?
Yeah, so at 17 and Pregnant, you're like, I'm going to buy a house with this.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah. Now I can like buy a baby crib. And so that's how that went.
That's insane. So like, what's it like having fucking literally from your 20s or no, from your teens from like 16, 17 to how old are you now?
27.
27.
Yeah, it's been
like,
10 years.
Basically all of your 20s.
I don't
been
remember.
Documented. I was gonna say it's probably a fucking blur.
I remember like going out and like I worked all the time and was in high school before I got pregnant, and then I got pregnant and my life has never been the same since. Like it's literally been 10 years since I've been on TV. And I'm like, I don't know what it would be like for me not to be filming every other week. Like the most that we've had was like a month break, I think.
This whole time?
Like we would get maybe like a month 1 year, maybe 3 to 4 weeks. Like sometimes we'll go like 2 to 3 weeks without filming, but then it's like I know they're coming back. I know at some point I have to make arrangements so that I can film a 4-day shoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like I don't know what it would be like to not have that anymore.
Damn.
Sometimes I'm like, well, that would be a relief, and then sometimes I'm like, I get bored.
Yeah.
You know, like I was just saying, like the people were here before you got here to do VO for the show. Like, I don't know what it would be like to not do that.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, there's pros and cons to it.
Of course.
So
like the privacy thing, it's like,
yeah,
but is it really that invasive to where like they're like, no, Kail, like this is, you're about to go do this, you're good. What's up, Bear, buddy? Like, no, we want to film this.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really tell them no. If I don't want to, is he good? Should I talk over him?
He's
or
fine,
no?
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. If I don't want to film something, the best bet is to never mention it around the crew. So
that's
like
smart.
That's like the only. But it took me 10 years to learn that.
Now? Like,
now I know, but it's like, yikes, because there's been like, I've told my producer something that's going on, and it's like, oh, I don't want to film about it. Well, you already talked about it, so now you have to film about it. So we've kind of learned over the years like how to, but then also it's tricky because if we don't talk about something and it blows up bigger than it is, and then they didn't film it, it creates a huge hole in the story. So like for the arcs of Teen Mom.
Yep.
So it's been a little bit tricky.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You see, people don't fucking know that or think that. They just think, oh, well, she's getting a fat paycheck to do whatever.
No, I'm exploiting my entire life and all of my privacy so that I can pay for my kids to go to college.
Exactly. No,
like that's really what it boils down to now, you know? Sorry.
No, you're good. He just wants love.
He wants to be on the podcast.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be in it. So that's cool. No, that's so okay. Real quick, what'd you get your degree in?
Communications.
So film.
Yeah. So I was like, I really want to. I first went for dental because I was like, I want to be a dentist.
All right.
And then I realized about a year in, I was like, well, one, I can't pass chemistry. Like I've taken it twice, and I can't, like college level chemistry, like just that first class. I was like, I can't. Numbers are not my thing, and neither is
periodic table.
No, we're not. So I was like, I already have my foot in the door with film, so I know people, and I feel like in this industry, it's like not what you know, it's who you know. I mean, you have to have a talent to some degree, but also it's who you know.
100,000%.
So I'm like, I might as well just do what I know, and I've been doing it for, at that point, I think it had been maybe like 5 or 6 years. So I was like, I might as well just kind of take it and run. So that's what I did, and I was like, you know, if I get to be like a news anchor or, you know, whatever, I would be cool with that. Like it would be cool. So that's what I did.
That's cool. No, that's smart though. That's like a lot of like forward thinking on your part, because I feel like a lot of people that get into these opportunities and these chances that, like, as far as being on TV, whether it's reality or whatever, they think of it as like, oh, this is like my 15 minutes of fame, this is my thing now, and you're like, no, like you're thinking of like
the longevity of it,
like long term, which is fucking brilliant.
But people don't. They're like, oh, Kail's so dumb, you're not even using your degree. Like I get that on Twitter probably once a day. What? They're like, you paid for your degree so that you could say you have one and you don't use it. And it's like, well, my podcast is my degree.
Exactly.
My show is my degree. Everything YouTube is my degree. Like I'm using it. It's just some people just don't get it. You know what I mean?
No, they think you're just going to go be a filmmaker in Hollywood.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way.
Especially when you have the connections that you do. Right. Why would you? You'd be a complete dumbass to go astray from what you already know. So no, I think that's
and it's
great.
Like if I wanted to go get my master's in something else, like it's kind of nice that I already, you know, I have my degree and I can kind of do that. But I mean, if you don't have a degree at all, then you have to, I don't know.
No, you're right. And it's also like the people on Twitter don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's an accomplishment in itself.
Yeah, but they think I bought it and it doesn't matter. Jesus. And it's everything came from Teen Mom. And it's like, if I stay stagnant and I never went and got my degree and I never did my podcast and my books, I'd be a piece of shit because I'm on Teen Mom and I don't do anything with it. Yeah. But on the other hand, I'm on Teen Mom and I did something with it and I'm still getting bitched out.
You're exploiting your opportunity.
It's like, well, I can't win whether you know what I mean? So I just...
That's fucked.
Yeah, it's been tough. It's like no matter what I do, somebody has a problem.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Damn, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that like you kind of, like I said, you have the foresight? Is that the word?
Foresight? Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, fuck it. All right, so I think like you have... Like that's, I see that because I watch a lot of reality TV. To be honest with you, I'm like, it's addicting as fuck. So like when I'm watching, I'm like, and then I don't go see people taking advantage of
the
that
opportunity.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're not gonna get this again,
no,
ever. And you could see people that like have been on TV that are just like an afterthought, like a one-hit wonder. And I feel like you stand out to me in that aspect.
Do you know who Spencer Pratt is?
Of course.
I love him. I think he's so funny. Yeah. But I had this conversation with him when we did TRL together last year, and he said that once he was on the Hills, or was it the Hills or Laguna Beach, or both?
I think he was like on both, but the Hills was like
it was gone for 10 years, and I think he's scratching his butt.
Is he humping?
No, I think he's scratching. So he said that when they canceled the Hills or whatever he was on. he had begged MTV to come back for years and years and years.
He begged them?
Yeah. Like Jersey Shore cast too, I was told, did the same thing. Once they were off TV for a while, they were wanting to come back so much because it's like, just like you said, once the opportunity is gone, it's gone. Most of the time it's gone. And I think that too, it's hard because people aren't paying for cable like they used to anymore. No. They're streaming, they're watching it on YouTube, they're watching it on Facebook. They're not paying for cable. And so it's like, you should have struck when the iron's hot. No. So much fun degree.
I know. We're like totally, right? Your communications degree. No, but that's like, it's funny. I think of Snooki.
Yeah.
When I think of like this, because I feel like that whole crew now, since it kind of came back, they kind of, she fucking took it and ran with it. I think
a couple of them did the first time because I know that, I'm pretty sure like Snooki like has like a shop in New Jersey, and she has like a makeup line. She did a bunch of things, and I think, and then it just obviously amplifies it once they got back on TV.
Of course.
So I think a couple of them did really well, but then I think Mike went to jail or whatever.
Yeah, he fucked up. Kind of the fraud shit or the tax evasion or whatever.
Yeah, yikes. You know how it goes, but
Damn,
I think some people. They know, okay, this may only last for a little bit of time, and so they're gonna think of the longevity. But I think a lot of people are like, this is here forever. They don't really think of.
They don't think long term. No, you're right. So what, as far as like, talk to me about what fascinates me about you is, okay, you have 3 children, 3 boys.
Yeah, 3 boys.
Which is probably a nightmare.
And then I deal with all 3 of their dads.
Yeah. Which besides the last one, you really haven't seen. Most people haven't seen on TV. So they kind of know all the arcs and the relationships and stuff. So like, you as a single mom, right? I'm sure you have help with their co-parenting.
They help, yes, co-parenting.
Yes, I got that. But still, as a single mom though, like running multiple businesses, being on TV, doing shit like this with me, like in your own podcast, like that is awesome. So like, talk to me about like the entrepreneurship as a single mom with 3 sons. Like, that's just cool, man.
It's weird because I think if you asked me before Teen Mom ever happened, like what I envisioned myself doing, I don't know that it was to run my own business. I think it would be to work for somebody else, or to be in the dental hygienist or whatever, working for somebody else. So I don't really know where it came from. I think part of it is that I realized the opportunity, and then the second part of it was like, okay, now I'm used to it and I need to continue to make this happen, and I don't want to work a 9-to-5 now. Now I've seen the other side of it, and obviously my kids are my motivation, because I have to feed them. I know I have college and all that stuff to pay for eventually, and I think, I want to show them that despite everything that I've been through, like, you can still kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I truly don't know where the entrepreneur, I guess, mindset comes from. And was I born with it, or did it just develop over time?
I definitely know,
because I see about. Like, I have friends that are on reality TV too, and they don't have it. They don't care. They're not thinking about opening their own business or doing any of that stuff. And so maybe once I got a taste of it, I was like, I don't want this to stop. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to keep the ball rolling. I love that. And that's like, I can't imagine how having 3 children running, like Pothead is like blowing up, right? I love
Pothead, your hair, you can talk about that for a second.
So I started Pothead Hair Care last year. We launched in November, and I think that within like a couple weeks I already made my money back from what I invested in. Yeah, so it was like, I definitely want to continue to do this. I don't know, like, and it's like I get a harebrained idea, and then I'll like sit on it for a minute.
You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm going to fucking do it. Like, I'm just going to do it, because the worst that happens is it doesn't happen.
Exactly.
But I don't know where it comes from, but I hope that my kids pick it up, because I want them to just try a bunch of things. Yeah. And whatever you feel like works, then go with it. You know what I mean? Like, course. I want them to get that hopefully from me. And their dads kind of did it too. Lincoln and Isaac's dad kind of developed it too. Joe doesn't work. He works for himself. And then Javi and I had toyed with the idea of him opening a CrossFit gym when him and I were married. And once we got divorced and a couple years went by, he ended up doing it too. So it's like, it's almost like the opportunity presented itself. So do it. Just fucking do it.
And it looks like they're taking a page out of your book, really. You know what I mean? I don't mean it like using your book.
What you mean.
You know what I mean? Like, oh wow, that worked for her. Like, it's funny because the whole CrossFit thing, George.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to lecture anyone, but like they kind of like didn't they work together or something?
We went to CrossFit Dover.
Yeah.
So, yikes. I love George, and he's my ex-husband. Cool. So, but yeah, that was a weird situation. So I just kind of.
So why don't you go to?
I'm not going to go to my ex-husband's
I'm kidding.
Gym.
No,
I named it though.
Did you really?
Yeah, don't tell anyone. I'm just kidding. It's already.
Yeah. Too late. No, that facility looked like fucking massive.
Yeah. No. Wait, Javi's or George's?
Well, George is fucking huge.
Yeah, I think Javi's is a little bit smaller than George's. But because of the platform that Javi has, his grew so quick. Of course. I was even shocked by the growth that it had, the progression that it's made, because he opened CrossFit Killshot just after I opened Pothead. Yeah. And he's already expanding his gym. Damn. So I was like, wow. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's doing really well, I guess.
That's good. But that's just another example of like taking advantage of the opportunity that is in your face. It's like if in film, like you said earlier, it's 100%. I tell people this all the time. Yeah. I could be the best filmmaker in the world. Yeah. No one. Mm-hmm. You could be the worst and no Steven Spielberg. Guess who's gonna get a feature first? Yeah, me. Fucking you.
Right.
So
which I'm not that creative.
But still, like to your point though, it's like it's fucked up.
You know what? I want to say that's probably like that in a lot of industries. Probably not just the film industry, because I feel like I've seen that happen in like corporate and
for sure.
all of that stuff. It's like not what you know, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yep.
But. Yeah, it's unfortunate because I see so many talented people, and I'm like, why did you not take off? And then these other people aren't, and I don't want to diss anyone, but sometimes that is what people think that about me. Like, why do you get to do X, Y, and Z? You know what I mean? But
so, like with Pothead, so I'm curious because I see a lot of people, a lot of celebrities, whoever they are, they get like they have a perfume or cologne or whatever, and it's like.
Did you really do this, or did you slap your name on it?
Yeah. No, I feel like you didn't do that.
No, I went through the entire. Okay, so again, it's not what I know, but once I knew somebody, I went through the whole process. So I had a mutual friend with someone whose husband is a chemist in a lab that his family owns in Dallas. So she's like, if you wanted to do your own hair care line, I know somebody that you could do it through the lab. So I was like, okay, cool. So I went and toured the lab. I gave them a whole rundown of what I wanted and came up with the formula. And they would send me samples, and I'm like, no, this isn't really what I want. Like, I want more of this. I want more of that. I really wanted to do CBD because I feel like it's, the growth of it right now is amazing. Like, everyone's using CBD, and it has a lot of benefits, not just for your body, but for your hair, your scalp, everything. So I was like, okay, perfect. So we went through that whole process. I had a whole outside team come in to design my labels and my packaging. So I went through the entire process step by step with everybody that was a part of the process. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
It wasn't like, oh, here's a perfume and we're going to slap your name on it. Yep. It was like, I was a part of, I've been to Dallas, I've been to the lab. I went through the entire like back part of the lab where you get into,
you see everything. Yeah.
So we did that, and it took months. Like, it probably took close to a year to actually get the formulas to be what I wanted them to be. And then I only came out with 3 products because I was a little nervous, and it costs a lot of money to do stuff like this.
Hell yeah.
So, I mean, again, that's just a prime example of me not just slapping my name on something. It's like, I need to have the money to invest into my own product and then stand behind it and then use it and then so I got all the samples and I gave them to all my friends, and they would tell me what they liked and didn't like about it. So then I would go back and be like, okay, this is what worked for this person, you know what I mean, to kind of just get it where I want it to be. And your friends are your probably ideal clients anyways for the product, and especially in the beginning, because it's like if me and my friends can't stand behind this product, nobody's going to stand behind the product. That's smart. And it's hard too, because I feel like people are like, oh, anyone can do this, just slap your name on it. Yeah, anyone can, but not everyone's willing to put in the work. So one of the girls that used to be on my show, she's getting stuff from China and putting her label on it, and it's like, it's like, it's probably not going to do well. Maybe in the beginning because of your name and your brand. Right, I mean, maybe not even. Yeah. But then long term, like your shit, people see you using it, see your friends using it. Right. There's. But then because it's like, I know what the quality of it is. There's like quality, and then there's affordability, and then it's like I have to meet. It's just so weird because I'm like, I want this to be a quality product, but then you have to pay for the quality. Yeah. You can't just ship it from China and slap $5 on it. You know what I mean? Like, so I've gotten a little bit of like, wow, it's really expensive, but I'm like, you get what you pay for. 100%. So it's been a journey, but it's doing really well, and we're coming up on our 1 year, and only women. It's run by me, owned, founded, everything by me. And then I do have 2 people on my team that have been helping me with social media and stuff, but it's all women, and I love that because I feel like we need more women entrepreneurs.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's been really cool. It's definitely been like a learning curve, though.
For sure.
Yeah.
So like, and that's taken. You said you already made your money, your investment back, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking.
But we
rare.
bust our asses. Like, it's me, I have my best friend who's my assistant, and then I have one social media person, and it's just the 3 of us, and then we work with the lab.
Damn.
So, I mean, that's it. And we just do it. We do it by ourselves.
Is the girl that was at CrossFit that day? Or is it the girl that I was like emailing?
Probably the one that you were emailing, Kristen.
Yeah,
she was my best friend for years, and she was helping me with, like, just keep my life together.
Yeah.
And I was like, honestly, I wanted to hire somebody, like, to be my assistant. Sure. And she's like, Kail, I've been doing it for years.
Yeah,
for
literally,
free.
like, okay.
I said, okay, we'll get you on payroll. Like, we might as well just keep it in the family because no one else needs to know all the things.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Well, I have a question about that.
Sure.
So, like, do you get a lot of people, like, that will, like, because I was surprised on how, like, open you were, which is me in general. I was like, okay, like.
Sometimes I shoot myself in the foot by doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because, like, I'll tell too much. I tell myself. I get myself caught up, and I'm like, I shouldn't have said that. But, I just feel like we should all be like that. We all can learn something from each other. And I feel like if I'm open and just real about it, then, you know, people can learn from me. I'm not here to, like, diss anyone. And I want to learn from other people too. So by being open, I'm able to kind of grow and, like, expand my own self.
100%. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I was just like, damn. I was like, all right, well, she's like responding to me.
Yeah,
like, followed
of
me.
course, like definitely.
I know, but I was like, it lined up because when I met you, I was like, she's cool as fucking shit. So this makes sense. But I'm thinking like, I wonder how many people like hit her up and is like, you know what I mean? Whether it's like dudes or whoever, just trying to like take advantage of you.
Yeah, I get that
ways.
a lot, and it's so hard because, so there's 2 things, right? Like, I'm so willing to help other people in their business journeys, and like, especially if I know them and I've worked with them, like, I will be the first person to shout you out. Like, I don't, it doesn't, me not shouting you out is not helping or hurting me.
Exactly.
So why, like, it's not hurting me for sure. So why wouldn't I try to help, you know, where I can? On the other hand, I've been definitely used and abused by people that take advantage. And it's hard because they take advantage of my kindness. And it's like, I'm here to help you. Like, I have a following, and I obviously don't want to see any of the people that I know struggle or anything like that. So if I can help, like, you advertise or, you know, whatever, if I can invest in your company. Like, I had my middle son played soccer for someone who also owns and operates like this football team. Cool. And you know, I donated from Pothead to sponsor, you know, the league or whatever. Yeah. So like, if I can help you and then you're going to have an amazing football team, even though my kids don't play for it, I want to help where you know what I mean? No, so like, it doesn't hurt me to help you. Yeah. And like, I think that a lot of people in reality TV or even beyond reality TV and actually have a talent, they don't want to, they want to be paid to immediately. They have to be paid to advertise for anybody. And I just don't like, yeah, some things I do get paid to advertise, but there are other things that why wouldn't I?
Yeah. No, I totally got that. As soon as I started talking to you, I was like, dude, I know we talked earlier off camera, like how like your character on the show is a certain way, and not that I ever like projected like, oh, she's this or that, right? Because I know it's reality.
I think people
and I
are
understand
surprised when they meet me.
Oh yeah.
They're like, wait a minute.
I know, and I wasn't surprised because you're just like a genuine ass person, and you're super nice, and what, like I said, what caught me off guard was like how forward and open you were, because I was like, damn, dude, I know, because you have a decent platform. You have well over 3 or 4. You have millions of people. Yeah. So you have a good platform as you know, for yourself. Right. And most times if you put someone on, it's good for them. Yeah, so
and that's what I try to do. I mean, I don't need to get paid for every single post that I do. And I have friends that are like, well, are they going to pay? And it's like, no. Really? Yeah, and I get it. Like, I get it. We have to make money somehow, and the show's not going to continue forever. But I just think that there's more to be said about who you are as a person if you're willing to help somebody out. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, you don't know who that person is or what they're going to be either. So by you being nice to them, everything comes full circle. 100% dude. And that's so weird because I thought about that the other day. I'm like, when my friend asked me like, are they going to pay? I was like, no, but. What, for this? No. Oh, like somebody offered us like they wanted to do something with us, and I had asked her about it, and she's like, are they paying? And I said no. But I'm like, it's going to come full circle.
Yeah,
if you
dude.
do this favor for somebody, it might not come right away. And you don't do it for the return, but it will come full circle.
100%.
So I just feel like, why not?
Yeah, it's like you familiar with Gary Vee?
Yeah.
Like jab, 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 right hook. That's like my whole marketing, because I have like,
jab, right
yeah,
hook.
it's true. It's like
Yeah.
if you give, when it comes time to ask for something or you need that
People are going to be more willing. I mean, and you don't do it for that
Of course
reason.
not. No.
But it makes it worth it.
Yes,
you
and
know?
it's like,
So,
like his book is like literally like you don't do it on purpose, but you almost guilt them into being like, yeah, you helped me so much. Why the fuck would I not help you?
Yeah.
And it's you never know who you're talking to, man.
right.
Like,
well, never. And it's so funny. When you were telling me earlier that you had met me before, I was like, oh my God, I probably was a huge bitch.
you were not though.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I was afraid you were going to say that. No, because I have bad days too. You know?
Everybody does.
So, but someone actually tweeted me and said, you seemed so unapproachable. You were on your phone in the airport and I almost ran into you. And I was like, okay. Like, you didn't approach me. You didn't say anything. And I was on my phone. So I was just going back to that whole airport story. It just made me think of that. But yeah, no, as far as that goes, yeah, I just try to help where I can.
Yeah.
If I can't, I can't. But if I can, I will.
Yeah,
you know?
I totally got that from you. And I was so impressed by that because that's like, you don't get that a lot. I've encountered I've talked to a lot of famous people. I've interviewed certain people and this and that.
Yeah.
And I'm not that guy. I'm not going to, if you're eating dinner with your family or whatever,
Right.
I'm not that guy to be like,
Come up to you
I
while
get
you're
that.
eating.
You know what I mean? But like, if there's an opportunity to engage,
the worst they're going to say is no.
exactly.
So you might as well just try.
Yeah. And then most people don't write them off and be like, oh, that person's a dick or that person's a bitch.
And you're like, but wait, you
yeah,
didn't even
dude.
go up to them. Or like, you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even know. But
Yeah.
listen, for anybody out there listening, you're not any of those things.
Most days I'm not.
Even on like, but people have to understand that like
I'm a normal human.
You're a fucking person.
But people, I think they confuse me with being a character.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I'm supposed to, I guess it's like my job to like be up and like looking around in case anyone wants to say hi to me. And it's like, that's just not.
That's not real.
No.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
And I have bad days too where I'm just like literally minding my business texting. Like, it doesn't mean I'm unapproachable. I'm just not looking around,
Yeah.
you know?
Just like a normal person.
If it was anyone else, you're not expecting them to look around, like
Yeah.
in case you might know someone or what. Yeah, you know how it goes.
Of course, dude. Yeah, that's fucking good. Well, good for you. That's fucking
Thanks,
awesome.
I try, you know.
Yeah. What's like the one thing that fucking just annoys the shit out of you? That you're like, I know you probably already actually said it. Like the fact that people don't really give you like the time of day to even like be yourself or express yourself. But like, what's like the thing that you're like, you just fucking over it?
I think I know that I'm pigeonholed into a storyline.
Okay.
And so I have to sit on the couch and talk about my baby dads all the time. And then that translate into the real world by people not taking me seriously and think that this is all I have going on in my life.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get it.
I think that bothers me the most. And even when, like, my whole demeanor will change. When I know I have to talk about something that involves them,
dude,
I get an attitude with my producer. I don't want to talk about it. I'm cold. I have no expression on my face because people think that that's my real, like, how I really am. Yeah. And I'm not.
Yeah.
So I think that bothers me.
Like on TV, though, they probably fucking love that version of Kail because...
But it's like, why can't you guys film me go do the process for coming out with my new products for Pothead? Why can't you guys...
They didn't do that?
They did, but it was a minuscule... Like, I get 4.5 minutes, give or take, on every episode.
Oh, shit.
So... they can't fit that stuff in there. They want to know about Javi, Joe, and Chris. They want to know, who's sleeping with who. They want to know, you know what I mean? Army and Leah scissoring. Like, they want to know all the things. So, like, they just want to know that stuff. And then I get, discouraged. I mean, they have given me a lot on the podcast. Like, they've filmed a lot of my podcasts, which is great for exposure.
Sure.
And so I'm thankful for that. But it's almost like, well, we let you do the podcast. So can you talk about this on it?
Oh, shit.
And it's like,
so they're trying to pigeonhole you in like your other ventures.
That has nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
So it can be a little tough, but I think once people do give me the opportunity to actually give themselves the opportunity really to like get to know me.
Yeah.
I think they see a different side of me, but it's like I said earlier, like if I wanted to go work a 9 to 5, no one's going to take me seriously.
No, dude.
So
no,
and it's frustrating.
And like you said earlier though, like your mindset has changed to where like, I know I used to bartend, I used to serve, I used to do like mundane jobs.
Right.
And once I got a taste of like working for myself and actually growing something and making money and paying my bills off of my passion, I'm like, fuck this.
Well, then it's like if you don't make money that week to pay your bills, like the only person you can be mad at is yourself.
Exactly.
And I don't have to get mad about going to work, you know, to do something that I fucking hate doing. Or, I mean, I did like working in dental, but I'm still, I mean, I'd have to cheat on a chemistry test or something to pass. So probably not in the cards.
Yeah, no. But see, I don't know. That's like, so your most annoying thing is the people basically not giving you like the opportunity to
like be my authentic self.
Okay. Yeah. That's so fucking.
Or like maybe running up to me while I'm eating and I have my hair and makeup looking crazy. Like maybe I'm like, fuck, like why? Because then I seem like a bitch if I say no. But then it's like I really don't want this picture to go viral on Instagram. Like I just don't need that. So. Yeah.
And you're right, because it's like you are damned if you do, damned if you don't. You really are. Mm-hmm. Like that's so unfortunate. Yeah. So like. Okay, you're talking about like when you're on the couch and shit, because I see it. Like when I'm watching like the tell-all.
You're like, did she ever get up?
I'm like, dude, yeah. Like, and then like Dr. Drew's like pushing like this and pushing that. And because see, look, I see it through a different lens because
you're in it.
I fucking get it.
Yeah,
like,
but the viewers don't. They don't get it. They don't see how it works.
They have no idea that the producers are going to tell you, oh, so and so said this, so you get fucking pissed about it. Right. When you probably would have never even known. No. Yeah. So I get that shit.
Well, and then it's like we relive things, and I think people forget that too. It's like. Something might have happened in real time and then they edit it down to 4 minutes and then it re-airs 6 months later or a year later and you're like, fuck.
Rehash.
Like I have to this wound wasn't even fully healed yet and now we're reopening it. So it's like, I mean, yeah, I've definitely caught myself up doing that. So it's like, whatever, you know?
What's your end game? Like, is it like, I don't know how the contracts work, whatever, but are you like, just teen mom and then like whenever you want to maybe do like you said do your own show whatever, but like what's like your end game to fucking
I mean I definitely want to continue with my podcast and write more books, so I'll always have that, I feel like, but we're working we have a shopping agreement right now for the podcast show that we're working on. Cool. And I would love to do my own show, whether if it was for the podcast or for like, you know, I just moved into my new house, like doing that kind of stuff. Like I would love to do that, or I'm open to other opportunities, but I mean, I definitely don't think that I'm going to do Teen Mom forever. I mean, I'll do it as long as it's going on, just because I'm already this deep into it. It's like, y'all have already smelled all my dirty laundry. Legit. So it's like, might as well just continue. But if there's more, you know, opportunities that present themselves, like I'm going to take them, you know? So I don't really necessarily have an end game. I want to, for sure, just do Pothead and the podcast and raise my kids. Yeah. And, if at any point it feels like it's being too much for the kids, like obviously,
as I say, that's probably like your. No.
I'll have the books and the Pothead and the podcast to kind of carry us through. So, yeah, I'm open minded.
Yeah. Who came up with Pothead?
So the chemist that my mutual friend introduced me to, his wife and I came up with the idea. And she was like, because I wanted to do something with CBD, but I didn't have a name for it. Yeah. And so she was like, oh my God, what about this name? And I was like, oh, for sure. And she was like, I don't want to do it, so you take it. So I was like, okay.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So again, it's like helping other women and helping other people. Like her husband is a chemist. Yeah. Like she could have done it herself, but she's like, no, Kail, I want you to have it. So I was like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know how the whole trademark thing went down, but started trademarking and doing all that stuff. And it's crazy because since I launched, 2 other companies tried to file the trademark, and I was like, I was there first. I did it. Bitch. Yeah, I did it. Damn. So yeah, it's been crazy.
That's because when I saw it, when you started putting it out on social media, I'm like, what the fuck is Pothead?
People love it or hate it.
But it's brilliant though.
But it's hard because I'm like, I can't advertise on Instagram ads
because it's
drugs. Yes. Can't advertise on Facebook because it's owned by the same. Yep. You know what I mean? And I was even a little apprehensive to help my friend who was doing the football league. So I was like, I don't want this to be controversial for the parents. Yeah. If the parents don't like this, pull it right away, but keep the money.
Leaf, Pothead.
Exactly. Totally. So I was like, but if maybe they understood it was CBD, and I even sent him the product, but I was like, if they have any issues, keep the money, take the name down, because I'm not here to like be controversial. But I think that there's a stigma around Pothead, and
of course,
you know, I think that's it's been a little bit rocky, but people love it or hate it.
Are you gonna come out with like a men's line or anything?
Oh yeah, I mean the oil can go in your beard.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's
my
super.
beard. Look at this fucking like.
Listen, it'll be nice and lavish.
Right, okay.
So yeah, I have some new products coming out for our 1 year, like around the 1 year, and hopefully just keep growing the line.
Yeah, that's awesome. So there's actual CBD in it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's. I feel like Pothead is perfect for it.
No, when I saw it, I was like, that's fucking genius. And then the pot leaf and like how you said, it's like, now it's legal in most. How is Delaware? I don't mean to put your like.
I think CBD is legal here. I have an amount. I don't want to say it, but I have an amount that makes it legal for me to ship it to all 50 states.
Nice.
So if I were to add more, there are certain states I can't.
Interesting.
So once it becomes legalized, I will add more CBD, but I just wanted to be able to ship to anywhere. Yeah. And we can ship overseas too.
Damn.
Yeah, in most places.
That's crazy. Have you always lived in Delaware?
No, I'm from Pennsylvania. Is it cool to even talk about that? Yeah, I don't care. I'm from Pennsylvania. I lived in Northeast Pennsylvania first, like Lake Wallenpaupack area.
I lived in Gettysburg.
Okay, so that's kind of like, and then I moved to Allentown, which is closer to Gettysburg. Yep. I was in Allentown for like maybe 7 years. So yeah, and then I moved here with my ex-husband when he was stationed in Dover.
Oh, that's why you went. That's right.
First, we were gonna go to Kansas. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I don't really want to go there. But I was pregnant and I was like doing all these things. And I was like, you're going to have to go first because I still have to go through court for, to get the approval for Isaac to go. And then like 2 days before we were supposed to move, he's like, we're going to Dover. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. Like, where's that? Yeah. And I was like,
what's a Dover?
Yeah, like I didn't know. And he was like, it's only 2 hours from here. And I was like, oh, like, lit. Yes. Yeah, it was like perfect. So we ended up buying the house and moving to Dover. And we've been here since. So it's pretty quiet. Like, I like living here.
Yeah, it's chill. Yeah.
It's like 2 hours from all the major cities that I need to be in.
Ocean City?
Ever. Yeah, I mean, Ocean City's cool. I went there a couple weeks ago for the first time in years.
Really? Mm-hmm. Ocean City's tight. I used to go there every year for senior week.
I went to
fucking shit show.
Secrets.
Yes.
I went there one time.
With like the sand and the water and shit.
Oh, do they have that there?
In the back, yeah. Like they have.
Oh, I went at night.
Yeah, they have like bar stools and shit in the
water.
In the water, it's dope.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't do that part. Yeah. It was cool. Yeah, but it's like 2 hours from the beach, 2 hours from the city, 1 hour from the airport. So it's like honestly like the prime location for us.
And no tax.
Oh yeah, and no tax. That doesn't hurt anybody.
That's fucking crazy, dude. Like because I live in DC, so like we were talking earlier, like
so expensive,
bro.
But people are like, they'll be like, where are you from? And I'm like, I live in Delaware. And they're like, oh, what state is that in? And I'm like, it's Delaware. Yeah. It's the state of Delaware. Yeah. They've never heard of it.
It's like the first state.
Yeah, the first one.
It says it on the plate.
Yeah, yeah. And they're like, I've never met anyone from Delaware. And I'm like,
okay.
Great.
Yeah. Now you have. What the fuck?
Yeah, so crazy. I mean, I don't think that I didn't know where Dover was. So
that's true. You did say that, yeah.
But it's like weird because now that I've been here for almost 6 years, it's like.
Well, there's Dover, Delaware, and there's another Dover.
Yes, in Jersey, I think.
Yeah, and there's like a couple fucking Dovers.
I think you're right.
Like there's mad Dovers.
There's Smyrna, Delaware, which is where my kids go to school. Yeah. There's a Smyrna, Georgia. So like there's like a bunch of the same cities, which is weird. I always think it's weird when they do that. Like,
I know. It's like,
make a name up if you have
original,
to,
dude.
Right? Like I don't know.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see here. On the show, I'm gonna fuck it. I'll keep talking about the show. So like, do you have like? Because I see you're with what's her name? The girl from not Tennessee, from West Virginia.
Yeah, Leah.
You guys are tight in real life.
She's one of my best friends now. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's so weird. I'm like, this is like Snooki and JWoww.
Yeah, legit, like best fucking friends.
Yeah, I'm gonna be with her in the city on Sunday. She's flying in, and I'll drive in, and then we'll go to the VMAs together on Monday.
Are you guys going to the VMAs? Nice.
Yeah, we're gonna go together. I'm like, everyone thinks we're fucking anyway, so
really?
We might as well just give them what they want.
Isn't she with that dude, or is she like?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know.
Question. Yeah. Okay, you don't have to talk about this if you don't want to, but. Since I follow you on Instagram, I always see these fucking stories that you're posting. Yeah. And I'm like, are you making those?
A company does it. A company has access to my account.
Shut up.
And they post it. So I don't read them. I never know when they're posting, but I get paid to post them.
That's so brilliant.
So it's like, whether they're true or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, you're such an asshole for posting this about your friend. And it's like, they know that we do this, and I don't even know what they're like. I wouldn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
If there is something that they know that I wouldn't like, they're gonna text me and be like, "Hey, can we post this?"
Yeah.
And I'll say yes or no.
Yeah. No,
There's a
dude.
whole scandal with my ex-husband right now, and I was like, "Do not post that on my account because I don't want any parts of that."
Yeah. It's so funny you said that because like I feel like I'm like a 16-year-old girl, dude. I get fucking caught up in this shit. Like it's like swipe up to fucking find it. I'm like, all right, fuck it.
You're like, who's
I swipe
pregnant?
up. Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's like no one. It
yeah.
like sends me down a fucking rabbit hole of like,
it's so frustrating.
not even. It's clickbait like a motherfucker.
I know, but people click on them, so
No
it's like,
shit, yeah. And you're like, all right, yeah, click
Yep.
it. Yeah. I wanted to ask you that because
Yeah.
I'm like, it was like killing me. I'm like, damn, she's going in on people, and it's not even you.
No, it's not me.
Shut the
yeah,
fuck.
no, it's not me.
I'm like
Sorry to
disappointed that it's not, yeah. Like, that's so funny, dude.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the whole what's his name? That fucking psychopath,
David,
bro. Listen,
he's probably gonna come kill me.
okay. I think Delaware's got some pretty good. They're lax in their gun laws, I think. So you're good.
Are they?
I think
We don't have any self-defense laws. I know that.
What do you mean?
Like we can't. You'd have to like. This is what I've been told.
Okay.
You'd have to like literally drag someone in your house to like.
Oh yeah, it had to be inside the house type shit. Okay, it's not like
And even
Florida
still,
where
it's like you can't.
interesting. Is
shoot.
Delaware is it a Democratic or Republican state?
I think it's
Because it's so, yeah, okay, all right. Well, then never mind. You
think
probably
so.
have tight gun laws. But yeah, that motherfucker, dude. Like, what was the dog's name?
Nugget.
Nugget.
Because he was a French
Nugget.
bulldog, and I have French bulldogs, and so it was
Every
like,
time you see your
and
dog,
I have
you're
kids,
like,
and I'm
Nugget.
like, if my kids
Bro.
are poking my dogs in the eyeballs, the kids are getting yelled at.
Yeah.
So if you get bit, like
Yeah.
you know better.
Yeah, that's on the
When
kid.
you have kids and you have dogs, you need to make those lines
Yep.
very clear
It's
because
bad parenting.
whether you've had this dog for 10 years or 10 months, you don't know what a dog is feeling.
Yeah.
So I mean, there was already like animal abuse allegations prior to that.
Sure.
And so I'm pretty sure that companies were pulling ads from the show.
Oh damn.
Because fans were writing in. And I have dogs, so I see it from both perspectives. But the other thing is like, if my dog bites my kid and it's my kid's fault, I'm not an in denial parent.
No.
I know it was my kid's fault. But if it needed to be that my dog had to leave the home,
Yeah.
I'm not taking it out back and shooting it.
No, bro.
I'm either rehoming it to somewhere that doesn't have kids or someone that I know would make a good home for it, or
Yeah.
we just establish these boundaries
Yes.
basically and try to, still live together,
course.
in the home. But I'm pretty sure I read that the North Carolina police in their county said that the whole story was made up. And I was like,
Dun, dun, dun.
there's no fucking way that this woman is going on Instagram and saying that her husband shot her dog for a publicity stunt.
Yeah, no, that would.
There's no, like, he killed the dog.
Yeah.
So the fact that the North Carolina police did nothing about it and is acting like it's made up and there was no evidence when you went out to the scene of the crime weeks later.
Yeah, of course there's not going to be any fucking evidence.
Oh my God.
Dude, listen, North Carolina, I live there, like I told you before. It's like backwoods. I lived in Charlotte, so it's like a city, but no, like they're super like
don't give a fuck about anything.
They don't. Dude.
Oh my God, it's so unfortunate, and honestly, it's infuriating.
Yeah, no.
Because when we were all reading it, we were like, we can't even believe that she's allowed to have. They're still allowed to have animals. They're allowed to have more.
What?
They got more dogs, and after like even in like parenting and children, and like she pulled a gun out in traffic.
I saw that shit,
in front
dude.
of her minor, like all of these things, and that's okay in North Carolina.
Yeah, no, yeah, dude. They don't give a fuck.
Why?
Because first off, they're a red state typically, so they have. They're very they're pro gun, they're pro Second Amendment, whatever.
I get it,
which is
and
cool.
that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. But there's certain things that are like definitely. There's so much gray area with that shit. With
Right,
them,
exactly.
That there's no like. Yes, this is wrong. No, this is not wrong. Type shit. So that's probably why they didn't. But that's fucking crazy. When I saw that shit, I was texting my girlfriend when I saw you at Dover. She's like, "Yo, tell her like R.I.P. Nugget for me." And I was like,
"Poor Nugget."
Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck is a Nugget?" Like I didn't know what she was talking about.
Oh wow.
And she's like, yeah, that's the dog. And I'm like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
And I wanted to say that, but I was like, I don't want to like.
Oh, I'll talk about anything.
Know. Yeah, but that's. Man, R.I.P. to fucking Nugget, dude.
Yeah, for
that's
real.
fucking crazy. So like, how much on the show is like of a scale from like of 100%? How much is this actually fucking real, dude? And I don't mean real to where it's like there has to be some sort of like realness to.
I think all of the situations are real. Like they're not going to make something up and have us film about it.
Got it.
It's not scripted in that way.
Really?
No. Like they will never make something up and have us talk about it. I would say like some of the conversations are prompted because they have to be. They have to film stuff that makes sense to the viewers. Sure. They can't tell a story with holes in it. And so if something big happens and they aren't filming, we may have to recreate it, but it is what happened.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Of course, yeah.
Some of the emotions might be different depending on when they come out. Like there was, when I was 18, I cheated on my boyfriend with my son's dad.
Yeah.
That already happened and they didn't film for it.
Yeah.
I already told him about it, but they weren't there for the conversation. So I had to retell him on camera.
What?
Obviously now I would never agree to do that, but at the time I had only been on TV for maybe 1 or 2 years.
And this is how it goes.
I thought that's how it went. I thought I had to do it, and so I did it. But they wouldn't just like make that a storyline. I can't speak on other shows because I've heard from other shows they are completely scripted.
Yeah, me too. That's what I'm saying. I'm like literally where they'll just make up a fucking storyline,
right?
And then you
that's not us. That's not us at all.
That's
unless someone's lying about what's going on in their life, then it's not the producer's fault. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
I can't say that they've ever just had me make something up and film about it.
Yeah.
If something happens on camera and I don't really want to talk about it, but I need to kind of film the conversation, like it's prompted. Like, hey, Kail, I really need you to talk about the time that you took the baby to the doctor and Chris didn't show up.
Yeah.
Or, stuff like that.
Sure.
But scripted, I wouldn't say.
Damn.
I would say prompted.
Well, that's
is
good
a better
to know.
word. Yeah.
So, like, what's like the, your relationship with like your crew? Is it always the same crew?
No.
Same?
Okay, so I have the same field producer every single time. Mm-hmm. And over the years,
is it that
obviously.
Dude? That dude?
I have Patrick.
Yeah,
his name's Patrick. He's great. I fucking love him. And I will tell you, being on reality TV and liking your producer is one of the hardest things to like make sure you're comfortable with, because I've had producers where we hit it off at first and then things are not okay. Or like you
pulled a Farrah type shit.
I have.
Just kidding.
I definitely have. Like, I can't work with you anymore and you're no longer welcome in my home.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's been tough. Like, I've definitely been through some producers. I mean, and some leave because they have other jobs that they take or whatever. And so it's not always me.
It's a very freelancer industry.
Yes. And so like if they have another project that they're working on, they'll just go, to the other or another show, whatever the case may be. But, the crew itself, I can sometimes request people that I love. And if they're available, they'll come out, but it's not always the same. Like it's the same, I would say maybe 20 people that rotate. And if I can, I would, pick which ones.
A handful.
Right. But it's not always the same person.
And is it the same like crew that will go film you and then go film
Really? Leah or Chelsea or whoever, it's the same, those same people, but not the same producer.
Yeah, you have someone that's like your liaison really between you and
who I tell everything to, like this is what's going on, this is what we're gonna do about it, this is stuff like that. But we all have our own like producer, and then the same kind of crew like rotates.
Got it.
Sometimes we're all filming at the same time, and sometimes we're not.
Okay.
So.
Damn, that's so fucking interesting.
Yeah, and sometimes we film together. Leah and I went to Costa Rica in May. Yeah. Oh, what a shit show. I can't wait for that to air, actually.
What a shit show?
Yeah, it was a fucking shit show. We went whitewater rafting, and Leah's from West Virginia, so she does like, all the country shit.
She's all about it.
Oh, four-wheeling, the whole nine. And I was like, fuck it, let's go whitewater rafting in Costa Rica where I don't speak the language and I don't even know what their hospitals are like.
Let's
just fucking do it anyway.
Yeah.
And I fell out.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna die. My entire life flashed before my eyes.
Bro, that shit's no fucking joke,
but it was so fucking fun. I would do it again. For sure would do it again. She's like, come in West Virginia. I'm like, well, I kind of don't want to hit my head on a rock there. Because you just don't know what's under the water. But we had really good guides that knew the water.
Okay.
So I don't think that they would have taken us somewhere that
would fucking
had
kill
like
you.
Sharp rocks, like they were like more round.
Yeah.
But they were like
still a rock.
They were like, don't tense up. Like they told us before we got in the water, if you fall out, do not tense up because it's gonna make it hard. Like if you fight it, you're gonna die.
What?
So I was like, okay, so I fall out backwards, mind you, and I'm like, oh my god, don't tense up. So I'm like trying to go with the flow, and then I would hit a rock. And then I'd be like, ugh.
Tense up, yeah.
And then tense up. And then I'm like, they caught it all on camera.
I was going to ask you, did they get it on
literally,
camera?
and then we played it back. Like once I realized I'm back on the boat and I'm not dead. And we got back to the house and they played it back and I was like cracking up because you could tell, like, I literally thought I was going to die.
Yeah. It was
like, wow.
gold. It was gold, though.
Oh, it's going to be TV gold, honestly.
You're welcome,
yeah,
MTV.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's fucking insane.
Yep.
Bro.
Yeah, it was so fun.
So do you go to West Virginia a lot and hang out with her?
I've been to West Virginia several times to see her, and like when her and Jeremy were married, and Javi and I were really close with them too. She actually just came out for Lux's birthday at the beginning of the month, so she was here. We went to Hawaii together for 3 weeks with all of our kids, which was a complete shit show.
Did they film that?
Well, so there was some drama behind that. They couldn't film me because I did something illegal, and they couldn't film me, but they filmed Leah and her kids, and then we talked about the situation of why they couldn't film me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can you not talk
about
no,
I can. Basically,
I killed someone, so
right.
Okay,
no, I didn't kill anyone, but basically the story is there's custody agreements in place when you have kids sometimes, and you get like designated visitation, and then there's a custody schedule for holidays.
Okay. My parents are divorced, so I fucking get it, dude.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Some people are able to agree on things outside of the custody order, and then the custody order is something to fall back on if you don't agree. We have first right to refusal in our agreement. This is me and Isaac's dad, Joe. So what that means is if he needs a babysitter or he has anything that he needs to do where he would get a babysitter, he is required to ask me if I want the time with my son first. And if I say no, if I have something going on or I don't want him, which would never happen, he can go get a babysitter.
Got it. Makes sense.
So there was an incident where he was going out of town for 5 days or 3 days or whatever. And I had asked for Isaac, not knowing that he was going out of town. He said no, and then made arrangements for my son to go to his brother's house in another state and never told me that he wasn't going to be there.
Okay.
So that happened. And then a couple weeks later, I had asked him, hey, I'm taking this 3-week vacation with Isaac. I had put in my 30 days notice for the vacation. And can I get Isaac a little bit earlier on Sunday? We switch every Sunday. Mm-hmm. Can I get him a little bit earlier on Sunday because I'm going to go to the airport? No answer. So I booked the flight anyway because now I can't wait. Yeah. I don't have time to wait on somebody else. I'm just going to do it. Yeah. If I miss the flight, it's my own fault. We'll book for the next day. I booked the flight, but then I was like, I really need to ask him again just so that he's,
just to make it like.
Right. Yeah. And I was already approved for the vacation time. So I text him again. I'm like, hey, can I get Isaac early on this day so that we can leave? No, you can't, because even though that's your week, the 4th of July is my day because of the holidays in the custody agreement.
Got it, yeah.
So I'm like, fuck, because I wasn't thinking, we had never fought about 4th of July before, and it wasn't something that was truly important to me before.
And he's been like good.
Joe and I have been good for like years, so I was like,
what the fuck?
Oh, yeah. So I was a little frustrated, and I was like, okay, well, he's like basically like, you're not taking him for 4th of July, but the 5 days leading up to that was my day, were my days. So I was like, okay, whatever you say, Joe. Long story short, I went against my better judgment and decided to take him anyway because he wasn't even going to be able to watch the fireworks for the hours that he had for 4th of July. It was like 9 to 5. So I was like, honestly, like, go fuck yourself. Like, I'm not, like, that's kind of how I felt. And I was like, you didn't do first right to refusal when I asked for him a couple weeks ago. And so I kind of like, it was probably not my best parenting moment, but I did it anyway. And because that was technically, I guess, illegal and I could have gone to jail for it, MTV could not. Isn't that wild?
What?
Yes.
For taking your own child.
Because it was in contempt because it was his time. Yeah. But I felt like I was being reasonable because I was like, I'll trade you Christmas. Like, you can have Christmas. Yeah, I don't celebrate Christmas. You take them, I'll take 4th of July, and we'll call it even.
You don't celebrate Christmas?
Not really. Because of the custody agreement, I can't go see my family. My family's 3 hours away. Their dad's families are 3 hours away. And so it's just much. It's too much. Yeah. I would rather go on take my kids on vacation than to deal with the bullshit. Yeah. So that shit sucks. I thought I was being reasonable. I was like, well, I'll give you extra time. Like, whatever you need from me to make this happen, I'll do it just so I can have these. Moving forward, next year, we'll do our 3 weeks, but we won't do it over a holiday. Yeah. I just, like, wasn't thinking about it. Yeah, but
that's, like, a minor error that turned into something.
Right. Yeah. And then he's like, you've canceled whole vacations before. But I was like, honestly, like, I'm going with Leah and her kids. Yeah, it's different. I didn't want to, and it was just poor planning, and I think that it was just all blown out of proportion. But long story short, MTV could not film me in Hawaii because even though that was only one day of the entire 3 weeks, the rest of the time was attached to that day. Oh, so they were not able to film for legal purposes me and my kids on that trip.
Damn.
So
what the fuck?
I got pissed off because Leah and I then wanted to plan a trip to Greece with just the two of us, and I was like, y'all are not filming that because y'all didn't film me go on vacation with my kids. So now the viewers are going to think I only go on vacation without my kids. Because first we went to Costa Rica with no kids. And then we went to Greece without our kids. And you didn't film me in Hawaii with my kids. So it's one of those things where like every decision I make now is, how are the viewers going to look at this? Like even my VO this morning when I was recording it, I was like, I'm not saying that because you're making it seem like, so I took my kids to Mexico by myself with no help. And in the VO, it was like taking care of the kids on my own is really frustrating, or like, it's really hard. And it's like, I take care of the kids by myself all the fucking time. Yeah. I'm not saying that so people think I'm complaining about it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we're not doing this. So it's been, that was the long version.
So you can like rewrite shit like that, or like
no, I get bitched out and they're like, you need to record it this way, and I'm like, no, I'm not saying that. Like I'm not saying. And
do
then
you
it was
get in
like
trouble a lot?
Yeah, all the time. Like if I worked a 9 to 5, I'd be fired.
You'd be fired. Yeah, there's no way.
So
Kail, you gotta
go.
Yeah,
like
dude.
we've had enough of your bullshit. Yeah. So, but then on the flip side of it, like I do work with them a lot on other things. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm willing to film whatever else you want, but I just don't. I can't have it look like. Now that I know how it works, I don't want it to look worse. Yeah. And then there was like a VO about like, I got a weird text from Chris. I'm not saying I got a weird text from Chris. That's my son's father. I got a text from him. Like and that's a whole other can of worms because he doesn't want to film or anything like that.
I was going to say, he doesn't like, he's never on. It's no. VO is voiceover.
Voiceovers, right. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's like language.
Voiceovers.
Yeah. So that he doesn't like, so how does that work? If they're like, well, you got to get him to make him film.
Well, so that's the thing. It's like none of my kids' dads are filming now, like Joe, Javi, or Chris. And so it makes it really hard to film because they're not, one, getting their side of the story.
Well, they want the drama too.
Right. And Chris never filmed. So that was like kind of like a hole in the story from the beginning because was like I would talk about it, but then nobody really knew who he was, and then people were like, "Who the fuck did Kail even get pregnant by?"
Yeah, it's like this mystery, man.
It was this huge mystery, and then they were like, see pictures of me with my friends and be like, "Is that the dad?"
Yeah,
and I'm like,
"No,
never slept with him." But
that's so weird, man.
Yeah,
how they fucking.
So they did try to get Chris to film, but he was like, "I wasn't a teen dad, and this isn't my story, and this, I mean, he's part of my story, but this isn't." His story, his platform, and I kind of respect him for it. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it makes it really difficult. Yeah. But on the other hand, I'm like, you're not. I think other people that have been in my life, whether it's friends or significant others, have taken the opportunity and then they shit on me. Yeah. And I respect Chris's decision not to film from the beginning, and they did offer him money because it was like it probably made their jobs easier. And he's like, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. He was like, this is your thing, and I'm not here to impose, basically.
Yeah. Because, eventually they probably would have, on purpose or not, got him to say something about you, or just, how they fucking
and he's like, this isn't my show. I'm not a teen dad. I never was.
Good for him.
Yeah, so I do respect. I mean, like I said, sometimes I get so annoyed because I'm like, it would be so much easier if you would just fucking film this one thing for me. Yeah. And he's like, no.
But that takes a lot, though, because
it does. It says a lot about who he is as a person.
He could be a sellout. I'm not saying you are, but you know what I mean.
Of course. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be mad if you said that. Like, basically selling my soul.
Get the fuck out of here. No, that's not true at all. Like, I have one question. I've always wanted to not know this, but like, Joe, right? Is he still with the girl that he's?
Joe's married to V.
Oh, I just haven't seen her on the show.
They don't want to film. It's like they have.
Oh, damn.
It's one of those things where they have established their brands and their companies and their businesses outside of the show that now they don't want the two associated.
Look at them. Okay.
It's kind of nice but then it's like, okay, but I also don't want y'all to see what I say, and then you're not like you don't have the opportunity to defend yourself, essentially. And because I get it. I know how all that stuff works, but they're all like, V has her own business, Joe has his own business, Javi has his own business, and they don't want.
I get it. Yeah, they don't want. It's a separate lane. It's their own shit. They don't want it to because they know what could happen. Potentially good and bad.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like they were able to use it and kind of branch out and kind of stay in the other direction versus like, for me, I'm staying on the show because I'm able to still promote my brands. Sure. But they're not. They don't. MTV wasn't really. letting them film about their businesses,
No.
so it wasn't worth it for them.
No.
Where like, I'll take whatever 30-second clip you'll show of Pothead, I'll take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but also to keep it real, the epicenter of your storyline is Kail.
Yeah.
It's not.
Right.
I mean,
it's not
obviously,
them.
it's not them. So
Right.
it's like, you know, you kind of stay on there because you want to and you
Right.
have to, and
Right.
you have a different obligation,
Right.
morally too.
They have the opportunity to say no.
Yeah.
I don't know that they would have, if I decided to back out and they all wanted to film, I don't know that they would have filmed the story from their point of view.
Yeah.
Because that just would be too crazy.
I get it. Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah,
So-
you're kind of like the matriarch of the.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm just making shit up at this point. But anyway, so we'll wrap this up. That way
Sure.
I can get out of your hair.
Okay.
So where can people find you? Where, like, your social media, all that shit?
All my handles on social media, Twitter, Instagram, all of that is at Kail Lowry, Kail, and at Pothead Hair Care.
Yeah.
I do have my own podcast. It's Coffee Combos Podcast. It airs every Thursday. And we should actually get you on that podcast.
Dude, I'll fucking do it all
yeah.
day.
Just
Hell
like
yeah, dude.
life as a filmmaker. What do you
Yeah.
call yourself?
Honestly, like
Like an entrepreneur.
I hate that word because I'm like,
I would say momtrepreneur, but you're not a mom.
yeah,
so.
yeah, I can be mom, sure, whatever. Fucking, no, I feel like I'm more like because entrepreneur is such like I don't like I'm an entrepreneur because everybody throws that word
Everyone
around.
throws it around. Like
But
it's,
like I would say a business owner.
A business
because,
owner,
you know,
okay.
but I'm also a filmmaker.
Sure.
I've traveled the world, done
Yeah, yeah.
documentaries. I've done all kinds of shit. So
Okay.
like I've been the creative director for businesses. I've done a lot. I've done corporate. I've done freelance. I've done all
of it.
kinds of shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would be, and I have a crazy. Not crazy, a story or whatever. I've had like 3 open heart surgeries and stuff like that. So like
Wow,
I'm like a rare like only 1% of the population has or less than 1%. So like I'm a guinea pig when I go to it's just so random, but like
no, it's fine. I actually have a little cousin that had open heart surgery as soon as he was born.
really, yeah, that's how I was.
Did they know before you were born?
So like
because they knew from my cousin.
Yeah, because technology in '88. They told me, they said, listen, if you were born at any other hospital, you'd be dead. If you were born in '87, you would have been dead because the procedure that we're doing now only started in '88. And my mom only went to Children's Hospital in D.C. or Washington Hospital Center because at the time they were footprinting and fingerprinting babies because people were stealing
In
babies.
'88, they only started fingerprinting babies.
No, at that hospital they were doing that foot and handprint. Everybody else was just doing the footprint. So my mom was like, I don't want him to get snatched up or whatever. So yeah, so like which is
crazy way to think.
I know, dude. That hospital's connected to Children's, so like
Okay.
they were like. They cut the cord and I turned blue and gray. Like they were like,
They
okay.
didn't know
They
prior.
had no fucking clue.
Oh, wow.
And then my nurse was like, "There's something wrong with this baby," and and the doctors were like, "Oh, well, she's a black nurse." And we're like, "Oh, it's because you don't see a lot of white babies." They did some racist comment. My mom tells me this. So then Jerry Leaves, my nurse, snatched me from my mom and then ran me to Children's, and they operated like immediately. And so I had my first operation then, and second operation like 7 weeks or 7 months later, and then when I was 9, they closed the hole in my heart. So you're born with a hole in your heart.
Right.
I wasn't. So like all the blood was just basically flowing through itself. It wasn't
going
the
to your
rest of
body.
my
Right,
Yeah, that's
okay.
why I was blue and gray.
Okay.
And then they cut the hole and made a hole in my heart.
So that it could flow.
Yeah, and then they made it larger, and then they closed it because as you get older, your hole closes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like, what?
No, I just
Yeah.
so fascinated.
Yeah, so now they but there's no one older than me that's had my procedure. The procedure before me, at 40 you need like a full heart transplant or you're dead. So
Wow.
now me, they have to like, I go every year. I go to fucking Children's and I sit in like the little fucking kid like bed. It's like hilarious.
yeah.
And they're like, who's this?
Have
Like,
you
why?
filmed any of this? Like
No,
your journey?
No, I haven't actually.
You should.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about vlogging and stuff like that.
You
but
should.
I know, right? Yeah. So they actually hit me up a couple of weeks ago about doing some sort of like interview and like checking up on me and stuff like that and telling my story because it's like they basically literally do tons of tests on me just to see what happens.
research, right.
Oh fuck yeah, dude. They put me in a heart. They gave me
they pay you for
simulated.
this?
No,
They
they
should.
simulated a heart attack on me a couple times just to
What?
see. It's not like a real heart attack, but it's a cardiac MRI.
So are your chances of having a heart attack greater because of this?
Oh sure, yeah, of course. That, I mean, heart disease, all that stuff.
So, okay, so are you on daily medication?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm anatomically correct. So like I am like, I'm good. It's like as a kid, I would run the mile in like 17 minutes. I'm like, dude, I'm in like good shape. Why am I? And it's because my lung capacity is like about 60 to 70%.
So now you're at risk for
I'm not really at risk for anything, but I have more of a chance if something was to happen heart related because of my past.
But your lungs also?
Yeah, so I didn't know that, but I have like from all the scar tissue and operations and stuff, I had my scar tissue, I guess, messed up my lungs, and so that's why like I play basketball and I'm like winded after like the first quarter. I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, why is this happening?
Because I'm in good shape. I was like all that stuff.
Right.
So I didn't know that until I was an adult. So like I can't go to a normal cardiologist. I had to always go to Children's because they have all my information. They know all my shit. So it's just fucking weird. But anyways.
Wow.
Yeah. So
no, you really should film about this.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about doing like a little doc or like I was thinking write a book, but I'm not like a fucking book person. Like I
wasn't either, but honestly, it was therapy for me.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God. There's things in that book that I wrote about and I never thought again.
Really?
Swear to God. And it took me years to write that for my first book. That's why I was like...
Interesting. And you were young as shit when you did that.
Well, because I would go through these like periods where I was like, this book is never going to get picked up. Like, it's not going to go anywhere. So I like would write and write and write, and then I would stop writing. And then I would write and write and write. And then I was like, I got turned down by like 5 or 6 publishing houses before it got picked up. Like, nobody was interested. And then it became a New York Times bestseller.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, hey,
so
Kail,
by the way.
That's so
but
funny.
yeah, no, you should definitely do something with that. I feel like that would be so like helpful, but also like for you to tell your story. I think that's incredible. You should definitely do that.
Yeah, no, I was thinking, I definitely think I will.
What
for sure.
did they tell you anything about like if you were?
No,
now I'm
like,
interviewing.
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Hi, what's up?
If you were to have kids, would this be something that would pass down?
It's not something that is hereditary at all.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not like it was a total fucking random thing, and it happens, but like I said, it affects less than 1%. It's just a very, very, very rare thing. Now they could detect it once you're born. They
I
like
wonder
fix
if that's
it.
what my cousin had.
It's called transposition of the great arteries. There's a lot of different.
Okay, maybe not.
Heart.
Because he hasn't had one since, I don't think, since he was born.
Yeah. Well, now they could do it with just one surgery.
Oh.
And they could just go. They don't got to cut me. I mean, I've never broken a bone in my body. My sternum has been broken 3 times.
From the
'cause they have
surgeries.
to break your chest to go in your chest cavity. So it's like now it's totally different. And
open heart surgery. Explain that.
So open heart. Yeah. So my doctor, shout out to Dr. Midgley. He was basically dealing with my arteries was the size of a tip of a pencil. That's what he was.
Teeny tiny.
So he was like cutting them and stretching them and sewing them back together and all that stuff. Yeah. So like they literally, as a baby, like this fucking big, cracked my sternum open after they scalpeled it open and stuff like that. It's just like you see in like Grey's Anatomy shit. And then they like, you ever seen Independence Day?
No.
Okay, well in Independence Day, there's a scene where like they crack open the alien's head and it just literally goes like that.
It's like that.
It's like that. Yeah, it's like it cracks open and they break it and then they gotta like use the pliers to do that and then they fucking go to town and like it was wild, man. Like it was a fucking experience. But like you know,
but
you
like
wake
the
up,
heart is still beating.
Yeah, you're still alive. So like my heart would actually stop.
Oh
like,
wow.
Stop before and stuff like that. So like they gotta like do their shit and stuff and yeah. So it was like my dad told me the other day I was talking to him and he was telling me like from his point of view of like because my mom almost died, almost bled out. So he was like literally like I'm about to lose my son
wife
and my wife all within.
Do you have siblings?
I have a younger sister who is healthy as a fucking horse. Like she lives out in Ojai, California. She's a like a doula, like
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
She's got like she's like hippie and
oh,
she's like,
that's awesome.
I feel you guys
I love
would
that.
like,
It would be right up my alley. I have like one of my best friends is crunchy hippie, had water birth, and she's like, I'll be your doula.
Same,
and I was like, fuck yeah.
Yep. So she's got 2 kids. She just had a daughter about like 2 year and a half ago.
Okay.
So like she's doing her thing out there.
That's
awesome. So it's fucking wild, dude.
Wow. Oh my God. You should interview your dad for this. You should film this. Like you should do all of it. Oh my God.
I know. I was thinking about doing some sort of like super like dramatic documentary.
Well, you know, it's crazy you say that. We were supposed to wrap this up, but I watched this movie Breakthrough last night.
Yeah.
And it's about like this couple who adopted this little boy from Guatemala and they brought him home and he didn't really have a purpose and he is playing outside with his friends and like falls through the ice and like was without oxygen for like 22 minutes and
Holy
then like was in a coma for like 2 or 3 weeks. This is based on a true story.
Damn.
And he ends up living and like within a month of coming out of the coma, he's like perfectly fine, has no brain damage at all. But I'm like the fact that they like told from all the perspectives. That's like cool. You need to do something.
Was it a film or documentary?
No, it was they made a movie out of it.
That's cool though.
But they show at the end like they show all the
real people.
Yeah.
I love when they do that.
You should do something like that.
I know. I definitely think I should, just because it's like it's unique and it's like, and I'm always signing documents like do this test. I mean, just because I know it's gonna.
Are you
help.
left-handed?
I am left-handed.
Okay.
Yeah.
my oldest son's left-handed. And I was like, because they're like more creative.
Are you left-handed?
No, I'm right-handed. But I think. Well, 2 out of 3 of my sons are left-handed.
So they're gonna be like.
I'm like, you're artsy, music probably,
like
all
artsy,
the creatives, all the things.
It's so funny. It's so true. Brandon's left-handed.
Oh.
I think my buddy with the
Yeah,
hair.
no, I know who you're
think
talking
he's
about.
left-handed. I'm pretty sure. He's super fucking
I used
artsy.
to try to be left-handed so hard.
Bro,
I would just,
I'm
he
literally
said-
like strong hand on
I
my
tried
right
so
hand.
hard to be left-handed. I wanted to be left-handed so bad. I'm not kidding.
Really?
Yeah, like I would try to teach myself how to write.
You're
And I'm
like,
like,
fucking. It's like, who wrote this?
no, not me.
Fucking
I didn't do
the
it.
dog.
But, yeah, right.
No, but yeah, I definitely, I was thinking
should.
about it. They reached
Definitely
out,
do
so
it.
I probably will do something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But
Well,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Thanks for the inspiration.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I
yeah.
would love to come on your podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
and
Well, I'm
just
gonna see
kinda-
if we can arrange. My team's probably gonna come here for the podcast next. So hopefully,
Cool.
if that happens, then we can get you on.
Yeah,
and
and
do
you,
that.
and you shoot them like in, you do a bunch and then put it out, right? I
Yeah,
hope.
yeah. We try to when we get together, we try to record and film
Smart.
like 3,
That's
6
the way to do it, yeah.
episodes.
Bring a
That way,
couple
and then I
t-shirts.
put them on my YouTube.
Yeah.
But
No, that's great. You
Yeah.
guys don't film it. Why don't you film it? Like on the reg.
I
So
don't
you
know
can
how.
micro that
And
shit.
I don't know who to, like. I don't know how. And then also I don't edit it. I have to send it out to get edited, and then it's like a whole. It
It's
takes
a thing.
forever.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
I know. I got you. Well, look, let's definitely thank you so much
Yeah,
for coming
thanks for
on
having
for
me,
sure.
for sure.
And if you ever want to come on again,
Yeah,
We'll
awesome.
hang out. But that's it for E4 Explicit Podcast. We'll see you next time.
See ya.